Dear friends, today I want to share with you a beautiful story about faith, love, and a miracle that touched a humble heart. It is the story of a little shepherd girl who offered to the Virgin Mary a devotion so simple yet so sincere. This story reminds us all, young or old, that love given from the heart, no matter how small, is always cherished by Mary. So let us sit together, open our hearts, and step into this story. Each afternoon, as the golden sunset bathed the valley, Clara would lead her flock along the narrow paths to a small chapel hidden among the trees. She loved to sit there, beneath the shade of the branches, quietly gazing at the statue of the Virgin Mary. Though the statue had faded with time and bore tiny cracks, Clara always saw in Mary's face a gentle kindness, as if smiling at her. "Mother," Clara would often whisper, "do you know how much I love you?" Then she would tell Mary about her playful little sheep, the cool breezes across the meadows, and even her worries on the days when her parents struggled with their hard life of poverty. Clara had no gold or jewels to offer the Virgin Mary, but she believed that Mary did not need such things. One day, she found an old piece of blue cloth tucked away in a corner of her home, perhaps once her mother's scarf. With her small hands, Clara sat for hours by the light of an oil lamp, stitching every seam to make a tiny cloak. When she placed it on the statue, she smiled brightly. "Mother, this cloak is not as beautiful as you, but I made it with all my heart." On another day, she ran across the fields to gather wildflowers, white daisies, purple clover, and fresh green branches. She carefully wove them into a crown, set it upon the statue's head, and said, "Blessed Mother, I wish I could give you a crown of shining jewels, but please accept these flowers. They are my words of love to you." The villagers sometimes saw Clara kneeling in the chapel, her clear eyes lifted and her innocent smile glowing. They loved her dearly, but none could imagine that her simple acts were touching the heart of the Virgin Mary in heaven. Clara never thought of herself as special. She only knew that each time she was with Mary, her heart felt warmed, as if the mother were listening to every word she spoke. But then, on a cold winter day, Clara began to grow weak. She coughed often, and the strength slowly left the legs that once ran freely through the meadows. Lying on her straw bed in the little wooden house, Clara still smiled, holding tightly to the small rosary she always carried with her. She whispered to her mother, "Don't worry, Mama. I believe the Blessed Mother is here with me." Though her voice was faint, her words were filled with faith, like a small flame glowing in the darkness. During the days Clara lay ill, the little wooden home grew quiet, broken only by the sound of the wind seeping through the cracks and her mother's gentle prayers. The villagers came to visit, bringing words of comfort, though in their hearts they knew Clara might not survive. The little girl, though fragile, kept her peaceful smile. Each time she awoke, she clutched her rosary, her lips murmuring, "Holy Mother Mary, I know you are with me." That faith was like a tiny lamp shining light into the cold, dim room. At the same time, not far from the village, two priests from a monastery were passing through the valley. It was the dead of winter, and the freezing air made them stop to rest beneath an ancient oak tree. One priest, weary, fell asleep, while the other sat quietly watching the branches sway in the wind. Suddenly, both witnessed a wondrous sight. From a distance, a procession of maidens bathed in radiant light approached, their white garments sparkling like the stars. Leading them was a gentle woman, clothed in a blue mantle, her face shining with boundless love. The priest, who was still awake, filled with awe, called out, "Madam, who are you, and where are you going?" The woman smiled, her voice as soft as the spring breeze. I am the Mother of God. I come with these virgins to visit a little shepherd girl who is about to leave this world. That child has always come to me with a heart full of love. In an instant, the vision faded like morning mist, leaving in the priests a profound and sacred wonder. They looked at each other, their hearts stirred with resolve. We must find this girl. At once, they hurried toward the village, asking along the way until they were led to Clara's wooden cottage. When they entered, they saw the little girl lying on her straw bed, her clear eyes still shining though life was slipping away. Clara looked at the priest, her voice weak yet full of faith. "Please, fathers, pray and see who is here with me." The two priests knelt down, their hearts lifted in reverence to God and to the Blessed Mother. In that moment, they saw a gentle light surrounding Clara. The Virgin Mary appeared, holding a radiant crown, standing beside the girl with a tender smile. A heavenly choir began to sing, their melodies soft and sweet, guiding her soul. Clara closed her eyes, a peaceful smile upon her lips, and her spirit gently left her body. The Blessed Mother lovingly placed the crown upon her head, embraced her pure soul, and led her into heaven. After that miraculous moment, news of Clara's blessing spread throughout the valley like a spring breeze. Villagers gathered at the little wooden house where Clara had passed away in the loving embrace of the Blessed Mother. They told and retold the story of the shepherd girl with a pure heart who offered Mary gifts so simple yet filled with love. The small chapel in the grove where Clara once prayed became a sacred place of pilgrimage. People brought fresh flowers and candles there, not only to remember Clara, but also to give thanks to the Virgin Mary, who always listens to humble hearts. Two priests who had witnessed the miracle wrote down the story and carried it to distant lands. They told everyone that Clara, though only a poor little girl, has shown the true power of simple faith. Her patchwork cloak and crown of wildflowers had reached the heart of heaven, bringing forth a miracle beyond human imagination. Clara's story became a shining light for all who feel their faith is small. It reminds us that we do not need gold, riches, or grand offerings to draw near to the Blessed Mother. A sincere heart, a simple prayer, or even a wildflower offered with love, all are precious in her eyes. Clara now rests with Mary in heaven, yet her legacy lives on in the hearts of those who hear her story. May the devotion of this little shepherd girl inspire us too, so that we may offer Mary our own small gifts from the depths of our hearts. If you want to continue experiencing the miraculous stories of the Virgin Mary, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. And if Mary has brought a special miracle into your own life, don't hesitate to share your story with us in the comments. We can spread faith, hope, and the love of God together.